We have breaking news from the sexual assault trial of 5 former junior hockey players. The defense has wrapped up its submission and the judge in the case has set a date for handing down her ruling. The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick is live outside the courthouse in London, Ontario. So Megan, tell us what we've learned.
Well, Andrew, we're still in the midst of closing submissions by the defense lawyers. This began yesterday with David Humphrey, who's the defense lawyer for Michael McLeod. Then Megan Savard began hers. She represents Carter Hart. She wrapped up her closing submissions this morning, and then court moved on to hearing from Dan Brown, who is the defense lawyer for Alex Formenton. He's now done his closing submissions. There will be 2 more of the defense lawyers to hear from after the lunch break. But just before they broke for lunch, they did discuss the dates, potential dates for the verdicts to be delivered. We know this has been in the works for a couple of days, all the lawyers and the judge discussing what would work for all of them, because this is difficult for them to coordinate given there are 5 defense teams for the 5 accused, plus the Crown lawyers, plus the judge. So they have settled on a date based on all of their availability, and that will be July 24th. So the judge, Maria Caracia, committing to having her decisions reached by then. But there's still a few more days to go here of the trial. So they're still in the midst of closing submissions, as I said. Once the defense lawyers are done with theirs, so again, we've heard from 3 now, there's still 2 more to go. Then the Crown will deliver her closing submission. So we're not sure how much longer this will take, if it'll be another full day tomorrow or go even longer. So we'll have to wait and see. But that was the decision that was shared just before the lunch break, that it will be July 24th when the 5 accused will learn whether they have been found guilty or not guilty of the charges that they're facing. So again, these are the 5 players who are each facing 1 charge each of sexual assault. Michael McLeod facing 2 charges, however, 1 count of sexual assault and 1 count of being a party to a sexual assault. They have all pleaded not guilty to the charges that they're facing. And just to bring you up to speed in terms of what we've been hearing in the closing submissions from Brown today when he was making his closing arguments for his client, we heard similar arguments from him that we heard from Savard and Humphrey in terms of them taking aim at the credibility of the complainant in this case. She is known by the initials EM, and these defense lawyers so far, Andrew, have been urging the judge to basically reject her testimony. Today in court, we were hearing from Brown, who was arguing that EM created a lie in terms of her version of events. He was urging the judge to reject the claims that she has made about her mental state that night in the hotel room. And again, this case hinges on the issue of consent, whether the sexual activity that happened in that hotel room was consensual or not. And again, Brown, like the other lawyers, saying that it was, that his client engaged in consensual activity with EM. Brown saying the Crown bears the burden of proving beyond a reasonable doubt that EM didn't subjectively consent to sexual activity with Mr. Formenton, and on the whole of the evidence, they failed to do that. On the whole of the evidence we've heard in this case, Mr. Formenton is factually and legally innocent, he argued in court. And he went on to pick apart the testimony from EM. And again, once the defense lawyers are finished, we will hear from the Crown, who will recap her case and highlight key pieces of evidence in her final bid to urge the judge to find these 5 accused guilty. So court is on lunch now, Andrew. It will resume after the court break with the 4th defense lawyer starting their closing submissions.
Megan, thank you. The CBC's Megan Fitzpatrick live in London, Ontario.